Hey everyone, I'm here after Christmas, just before New Year, because I want to share with you 10 lessons that I learned in 2016. I know you've not got time to sit and watch another 45-minute video, so it's going to be rapid fire, 10 lessons, and then a little farewell message from me. So here it goes. Lesson number one is that heartache takes time to heal. One of the biggest griefs that I gave myself from all of kind of this year was that I wasn't moving on quick enough from my relationship. I've realised that different hearts take different amounts of time to heal, and that sometimes there will always be a little part of your heart that's broken. That doesn't mean to say that you can't love again, but it does mean that you just have to be kind to yourself. And especially if you're the one that instigated the separation, which it was in my case, I denied myself an opportunity to grieve for so long because I thought, well, I was the one that kind of wanted this. But just because you instigated it, it doesn't mean that somehow you don't hurt in the same way. So give yourself a break. Broken hearts take time to heal. Lesson number two is that I have an unhealthy obsession with shoes. I thought being in Vietnam and South America and seeing how little I needed to get by would mean that when I came back, that obsession would have waned. I've bought no less than 6 pairs of shoes since I came back. Lesson number three is that travel can broaden your mind. So I've been lucky enough to travel around quite a few places now, and I've met people from all over the world and shared experiences with them, listened to some inspiring stories, and it really does broaden the mind to experience a different culture and a different way that people do things. So travel's definitely a part of who I am now, and I want to make sure that whatever I do in the future, travel is a part of that. Lesson number four. Lesson number five is that depression can be really, really cruel, but for me it was a gift. So I was fortunate enough that when I had my diagnoses of depression, I was able to go away on a holiday on like my 4-month travel experience and just really kind of listen to what the lessons were that were coming through from that for me. Not everyone has that luxury. A lot of people have to medicate just to get through life, and I can totally understand that. But for me, I'm glad I didn't take the medication because I was really able to experience the depths of depression and kind of see the lessons that were being taught to me in there. So depression is cruel, and when you're in it, you certainly don't feel like it's a gift. But the big lesson was it was a gift for me, and I'm really grateful that I experienced it. Lesson number six is that counselling courses should come with a big warning triangle. Every week I go to uni and we're encouraged to kind of go to the depths of ourselves to learn more about who we are. So the idea is that to be a good therapist, you have to know your stuff and your triggers, in case that you're sat in front of a client and they say something and it kind of like strikes you. The last thing you want in a therapy room is that the therapist starts breaking down. But it's tough, and it means that every week you have to kind of go really into your childhood, into some of your relationships, and really figure out, what drives your behaviour, what are your triggers, what's your stuff, what's your baggage. So it should come in with a warning triangle. That's lesson number six. Lesson number seven is that family mean everything to me. So without the love of my really small, beautifully formed family, I don't know where I'd be right now. I was fortunate that when I was going through all of the crap times, I just knew deep down that my family were there for me. I was never going to be homeless. I was never going to go hungry. And I know that sounds extreme, but those two things just really, really meant the world to me. So I love my family. Mwah, I love you. Lesson number 8 is that being vegetarian is the quickest way to lose weight. After my ayahuasca experience in South America, I kind of had a real strong vision that I wanted to be vegetarian. I feel a lot healthier. I feel a lot kind of like I got a lot more energy, but I have lost a ton of weight. and my poor little muscles that I spent a long time working have all but disappeared. So 2017 is definitely about kind of finding alternative sources of protein and kind of rebuilding my strength. But vegetarian is a really quick way to lose weight. Lesson number 9 is that friends mean so much in a world that's really, really tough. So I'm lucky enough to have a small group of friends that I absolutely love to pieces. I don't think it's about the number of friends that you have. I think you have just one really good friend. I've got a few more than that, and a much kind of wider network of people all around the world who I would call my friends. But really and truly, my close friends, the people that I would confide in, share things with, they've just been there for me, kind of no matter what. They've listened to me complain, they've listened to me cry, they've listened to me be down, they've supported me when I've kind of not been able to support them or be there for them as I would want to. They put a roof over my head, fed me. Yeah, just friends, they're so, so important, and I'm going to keep my friends really close. Lesson number 10, and the final and probably the biggest lesson, is it came through strongly in my ayahuasca ceremonies, and it's just more and more and more. I look around the world and I see people, kind of all the hatred and all the kind of wars that we're fighting, and I just think, oh, like, it's about helping other people. We're all struggling through this life. We are all in a pickle. We are all kind of battling our own demons. We've all got our insecurities. And actually, the minute that you start to be authentic about that, you realize that, I'm quite an authentic person these days. I share my vulnerabilities with others. I talk about my depression. I talk about, the challenges that I've had. And the more I talk to people, the more I realize that everyone's in the same boat. But things like Facebook and Instagram, they make it seem very different because we only put our highlights on there. We only put kind of like the bits that we want people to see. And the environment is here to shame us because that's how we kind of keep spending money. And I've got a blog on that if you're interested in reading it. But yeah, it's about helping other people. And actually, when we help other people, you feel like a deep sense of fulfillment, a deep sense of this is my purpose, or at least that's kind of my experience of it. So yeah, lesson number 10 is the biggest lesson. And I guess going into 2017, I know that I've got to be in a good place in order to help others. The old sort of put your own oxygen on before you can help other people. But it's much more for me about helping others. And the counselling course is a really strong way for me to do that. But also just kind of being kind, just smiling to someone in the street, or helping an old lady cross the road, all of those cliches, but it really does matter. Small acts of kindness can make a huge difference to somebody. So that's the biggest lesson for me. It's about helping others. It's not about buying shoes. It's not about buying clothes. It's not about fancy gadgets and everything else. But these things enable us to help others potentially. But I think if you really want to feel a sense of fulfillment and a real sense of purpose, my experience of that has been through helping others. And I'm really going to do a lot more of that in 2017. So that's it. Those are my 10 kind of lessons from 2016. I really hope that 2017 continues to build on some of the stuff that I've been working on in 2016. I've got a new business venture that I'm launching, and more on that in due course. And I do feel in a much, much better place than I did at the start of last year. So great. Thanks for listening. Happy 2017.